Hi guys, and welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming. Oh boy, I'm going to get roasted on this one. So we're taking a look at 007 First Light today. I have completed it. I picked it up Friday night, played some of it. My friend came around, he played some of it. And I finished it over the weekend. So it is complete. I haven't done the Taxim stuff, but I will get there. I'm considering replaying it actually because, spoiler, I enjoyed my time with this game. So, First Light is basically kind of a James Bond prequel, where James Bond is an airman, I think of the Navy? I'm not sure. It could be Air Force or Navy. And the helicopter he's in is carrying SAS, is shot down at the start of the game, and you have to basically step up and help MI6, who have taken over the mission, to, you know, retrieve something. So this is the footage you'll be seeing just from the prequel. So he won't be in a tux or anything. He'll be in his airman gear. Now I've seen like nearly all of the James Bond movies. I haven't been so much of a fan of the more recent ones. I think Daniel Craig's perhaps only good appearance was in Casino Royale. But you know, it's up to taste. If you like all the rest of them, that's fine. My personal favourite is Timothy Dalton, just for the record. Yes, I am that guy. Sorry. Although I did grow up with Roger Moore, I feel Roger Moore is pretty much single-handedly sort of responsible for Dalton's failure as Bond, because I think coming off of like the lightest, most sort of child-friendly Bond and going into what Dalton was bringing, which was a lot more hard edge, I just think it was too big a step, and everybody went, what the hell is this? And then Bourne came along and people went, oh, people like that now, okay, we're going to get Daniel Craig in. But yeah, getting off track. So First Light is done by IOI or IO Industries, is it? Something like that. But it's IOI, which are also the bad guys from Ready Player One. Even their logo looks the same. It's just like, I probably would have changed something there after that movie released. Well, and book, I suppose, but no, it's pure happenstance. So it plays very much like a mix between Uncharted and Hitman. And it's fairly clearly delineated, in fact. You will have segments where the gameplay becomes a lot more Hitman-like, and then it will break into an action scene, and it's a lot more Uncharted. You have a lot of climbing and jumping and mantling and squeezing through gaps and all the stuff that you would expect from sort of an Uncharted style game, along with very similar gunplay. There is a melee mechanic as well, which you'll be using actually surprisingly a lot. A lot of the missions you're not authorized to deliver lethal force unless it's delivered upon you, so it really only get guns out when there's one of those action scenes happening. Normally in like the Hitman-esque, you're sneaking around and disabling enemies, finding things that allow you to access further parts of wherever you are and get closer to your objective, and you may have to do that several times during the mission. The guy that plays Bond, I think makes a really good young James Bond, personally. If he was sort of, you know, meant to be Connery's age, less so, because he's very much sort of the proto Bond in the fact that he's got the chutzpah, if you like, but he doesn't have the experience or the knowledge in order to like be James Bond yet, which is the point of the game. You very effectively see him getting better as the game progresses. Even, you know, at the end he basically mans up and goes against orders and goes rogue, essentially, to go out and do something that M doesn't want him to do. So he's very much a sort of formative Bond in that sense, but by the end of the game he's much more close to the movie versions that we're familiar with. I'm afraid I haven't read any of the novels, so I couldn't speak on the authenticity towards that. It has been obviously moved into the modern age, so you're not playing James Bond like back in the 40s or something. But it's effective and well done. Now, I think a lot of people could be worried that, seeing as they've moved it to the modern age, whether or not it will contain a lot of the modern sensibilities that do tend to ruin a lot of video games. And there is some of it in here. Okay, M is an Indian woman, and Moneypenny is a black woman. Outside of that, I didn't really notice anything else. I mean, I think there was a line about toxic masculinity, but it was said more as a joke than any sort of performative statement. So I didn't have too many problems with it. I mean, when I saw Moneypenny, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. And M is a lady and a minority. I mean, she's already been a lady in the films, and to be fair, I was kind of done with female M the moment she called Bond a misogynistic dinosaur. I was like, yeah, oh, fuck off. That's what we like about him, you stupid cow. But in the game, it doesn't really come across too much. M just functions almost solely as a boss. And Moneypenny, yes, okay, she's been made into a black woman, but she's still very attractive. I would. I mean, that's a low bar, I will admit, but I would. So, I mean, I've seen that other reviewers have given it very low scores based upon a lot of this, and Veridark is giving it a 3 out of 10. Is that right? I haven't watched the video because she's not in sort of my YouTube watch thing. It's just generally wrestling and occasional shots of women wearing hosiery. But but yeah, 3 out of 10. No. Apparently she has some bugs as well, though, and I didn't in my gameplay. So maybe that's why. I don't know what was going on for her there. Certainly, I mean, you know where I stand with stealth. I do not enjoy stealth. I generally find it's detrimental to me even completing a game, let alone enjoying playing it. But in this, the stealth is more like the stuff I would want. There's very few sections where there's an insta-fail because you were seen. I think there's only, 1 or 2 in the game. Most of the time, if you get seen, you'll have a short fist fight with a couple of guys, and then it will settle down and you can go about your business, which is absolutely the way I think stealth should be implemented. That if you can succeed at stealth is an advantage. If you can't, well, you just have to fight your way out of it, which works for me. I've said a lot of people think that the stealth is stupid, the guard AI is stupid, and basically the stealth sections are too easy. And I'm the wrong guy to comment on that, because yeah, that's what I want from a fucking stealth section. I don't want it to be hard. I mean, like the Thief reboot or something like that. I mean, that was an awful game, and the stealth was fucking difficult. I do want some change, and I was caught a few times, and had to punch my way out. But there was the occasional one where I was able to get through with unseen, or at least having taken down all the guards unnoticed. So, I accept that the stealth sections may be a touch easy if I can do it. But there you are. The gunplay is very similar to Uncharted gunplay. You generally crouch behind things. I don't think there's a lock on. You can run to cover, but I don't think there's actually a cover mechanic. It's just more of like you just crouch down behind something to stop your head getting blown off. Bond is fairly tanky. He's not going to go down from like 3 bullet hits or anything. It will take sort of sustained fire to take him out. But I died a few times. Could be lack of competence on my part, maybe not, I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the story. It is a relatively sort of, when you're going in, you get introduced to people at the start of the game, and you're like, okay, you're going to be a bad guy, and we're going to come good together, and we're going to be bros at the end. Yeah, okay, I got it. It has all that to it. But it was an enjoyable storyline. Bond is definitely into the ladies. I mean, as I said, Moneypenny was attractive. M wasn't ugly. I mean, she wasn't to my taste, but she was not an ugly woman or anything like that. Most of the women you interact with during the game are not ugly. They're all attractive, unless specifically designed to be otherwise for a certain role. There's a doctor later on, and she's in a swimsuit, and she can probably taste that thong. Because goddamn, it's up there. And it was marvellous. So, they haven't sort of like gone that far, if you like, with any wokery. And by the end of the game, I did like Moneypenny. I would have preferred if it had been a bit more traditional in the fact of her, like, maintaining true to the character. But I think when they setting up like a black woman in the Craig movies to be Moneypenny or something, Naomi, her last name escapes me, but Naomi something, Naomi Harris, I think it was. I can't remember because like I've seen not many of the Craig ones, to be honest with you. I think I've seen 2 and was done. I've seen Casino Royale and Skyfall, I think. So make of that what you will. So yeah, I actually thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. There are some driving sections. They're generally very short, or just for show really. There's a part where you're driving towards the hotel, and it's just like a leisurely drive that you drop some people off and then go park up and then get out the car and commence the mission. So you do get a few ones like that. There's a rather enjoyable chase after a bad guy directly after that mission. And there is a car bit late in the game where you are in like an armed Aston Martin. But it kind of like just pins you inside an arena, so you're just in quite a small circle, and you just have to sort of turn the car to aim the weapons at the people that are surrounding you and kill them. So yeah, they could have done more with the car, if I'm honest. I have seen some people say, oh, it's like mixtaping, you don't have to touch it. I don't know what they're talking about, because in the training section that you first get into a car and you do basically a lap, I managed to like get lost. So I couldn't just put the controller down and let it finish, because like I was literally stuck against a wall at one point. But I don't know, I'd have to replay that section and literally try putting the controller down, see if that's a valid thing. I've also seen people say it's a movie. It's not. There are cutscenes in it, but they're not as bad as something like Metal Gear in terms of cutscenes or anything like that. There's a really nice montage at the start of the game where Bond's doing his MI6 training, and you basically cut back and forth, and sort of, so you do like you empty a mag at a target, and then you're in a fight training, and then you're trying to get an objective off of a wall or something like that. You know, it's just little short snapshots of his progression, and I think it's nicely done, personally. The game, I thought, ended twice before it actually did. My reaction wasn't, you fucking sneaks. It was more of like, oh, brilliant, I'm going to play some more of this. I really liked it. I'm not going to hold barrels here. I'm not going to say I didn't like it just because, you know, people were going to come for me in the comments. Well, you know, the 12 people that probably see this, and maybe the one of them that gets a bit irate about it. But yeah, I liked it. I didn't have too many problems with it. I would have preferred if Moneypenny was white, just because I prefer things to stay as close as possible to the source material. I don't think James Bond was particularly un-Bondish. He was just an early Bond. I think that's the key difference there. I don't think it was necessarily a whole different character. It was just like he hadn't had the experience and seasoning that the Bond you see in the movie has. He's very early in his career. Christ, you're playing him before he becomes a spy, and you play him while he trains to be a spy. I think by the end of the game he's closer, but he's still got some way to go, and I'm sure if they make any more of these, which I think they've confirmed they will, we will see that journey. I hope they don't delve sort of more deeply into modern day social politics as they could. Certainly what was present in this game, I mean, I've already accepted M as a woman. I don't really care what colour she is, because M for me should be a bloke anyway. So if Judi Dench can be M, I have no problem with an Indian woman being M, because it's not accurate anyway. So that change didn't bother me, because it had already been changed, you know. And, you know, yes, Moneypenny, but still attractive, you know, would still tempt Bond. And they do have a good repartee throughout the game. and you do come to like her, so it's fine. And she's got quite a nice voice, actually. I don't know who the voice actress is, but very nice voice, a lot of proper English. James is a little bit, he's not posh, but he does have, he's not lower class or regional or anything like that. He's got quite a good British accent, I think. The voice work is pretty good. I've seen some criticism of one of the characters. Shit, I can't remember the name of the actor now. But he's this black guy that's been in everything. And he's an original character as far as I'm aware. He's not been in any of the movies. And I really liked him. It's very much the whole sort of, he starts out as an antagonist to Bond, and then sort of as the game progresses, they have to work together. And, you know, it's that whole thing. You know, every medium does that. And by the end of, you know, the game, I liked him. So, there you are. I think most of the acting performances, Lenny Kravitz was out of left field a little bit, but he performed his part well. And I really liked it. There's a good variety of locales. There's a good variety of what you're doing. You can very clearly see which are the Uncharted parts and which are the Hitman parts, if you want to think about it that way. I mean, maybe they could have blended those a little bit more, but I kind of liked that. I kind of knew as soon as I got my license to kill that I was just going to be I was going to shoot a lot of people in the face, essentially, and use gadgets to blow them up and things. There's some really nice implementation of gadgets. So you always get your Q watch, which allows you to like scan things and see them and trigger certain appliances to distract people and things like that. But you also get to pick, first you got to pick 2 additional gadgets, and then you got a 3rd slot open up later in the game. And these range from darts that make people temporarily want to throw their lunches up. You get a flash grenade that can decimate a group of people. You get a laser which can be used to temporarily blind people or to cut through stuff. So I don't know what, I guess there's 2 settings on the laser, otherwise that could get messy. I kind of felt guilty about using the laser. I was like, yeah, I need to get this, sorry. He's like, oh my eyes, I can't see. It's just like, sorry. Maybe that is a legit criticism, because you can basically do that, and then the other people around him won't react to it, or the people that can see it. So they don't really react to somebody grabbing at his eyes, whining that he can't see, which is a little bit strange. But it would be really, I mean, if I was to point out all the flaws in the game, I would say most of them are just nitpicking. There are a few sections where it took me a little while wandering around to figure out what I was supposed to do. The hotel's one, and you infiltrate a massive office tower building later, and there was a part where I was just running back and forth, not being able to work out what to do. But as soon as I found it, I was like, oh, okay, that's it, and was able to proceed easily. So it was the case of me not finding it, rather than the game being particularly sort of roadblocky or in any way. But yeah, I mean, I just super enjoyed my time with the game. Okay then, so that's my opinion of James Bond First Light. I'm sure if you've got a dissenting opinion, please feel free to put it in the comments, and we'll have a nice civilized discussion about it. Well, I'll be civilized. You can call me a tard if you want. That's fine. I don't mind. Because you're probably right anyway, huh? But anyway, that's it for this week. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.